it just opened and said waiting for organizer. Then I guess when you came on, it just like slid the bar, started updating automatically, then opened. It was a lot easier.
Right.
Okay. Let me see here. I've got a couple people that are still having problems. Let me try to help them out. All right. Well, hopefully we won't have to stop too much. I've got some people that are sending me messages saying they can't get on. Well, Joan, besides how you're doing, do you have any issues this evening?
Nothing major. My only thing is when our daughter sends us a video, .mov,
Yeah.
I have a hard time getting it into iPhoto.
Okay. You don't want to put that video into iPhoto. That video needs to go into iMovie if you want to do some things with it.
No, I just want to keep it for posterity.
Yeah. The only way that I know of that a video is going to go into iPhoto is if it was taken on an iPhone already. The iPhone will then move it into iPhoto. But if you just have the video, then probably the best thing to do is just store it. If you don't want to put it into iMovie because you don't want to edit it, then you just simply want to store it. And we do have our movie folder for that. So drop it into your movies folder. That'd be a good place to keep it.
Okay, actually, I was able to drag it to my desktop and then put it into iPhoto.
Oh, okay. So iPhoto took it?
I think so. This was a couple of weeks ago before all our medical crap started. But that's about it. I'm very lucky. I think everything is going smoothly. We have umpteen gadgets, and they're all doing pretty well. So I'm very
excellent.
pleased.
Well, that's good. Did you decide on the iPad Mini?
No, we have 2 iPads, 2 iPods, 2 iPhones, 2 iMacs, and 1 MacBook Pro.
I think that's plenty. That definitely is plenty. Well, awesome.
But I'm stuck in the house most of the time, so it's absolutely wonderful for me.
David, do you have some major concerns this evening? Something that I might be able to help you with?
Just a couple quick questions, so I'll ask the first one first. So I have one of these, because I actually got an iPad Mini for Christmas, which is great.
Yeah.
So I got one of these, the adapter, and so I have an alarm clock dock. Here, I'm going to unplug these headphones.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Scotty?
Yes.
Alright, sorry, the headphones were being weird. Alright, so I have an alarm clock dock with the 30 pin, obviously, and when I put this on the adapter, then put the iPad, it's kind of wobbly, so I haven't done it because I'm worried if it falls forward,
I
it'll
agree.
break the
That
connector.
Thunderbolt connector, or the lightning connector that you're using, it's pretty small to support the weight.
Because, my dad does it with his iPhone, but
No,
I don't think
I don't
it
think
works
so
with
either.
a big iPad.
What are you sitting it on top of? Some sort of clock of some sort? Yeah.
It's an iHome, so
Well,
it's like an alarm clock.
the only
but
thing
it
I
has
could
the 30
suggest
pin
is
thing.
you build some sort of little extender that would support the weight of the iPad Mini on the back. You could do it out of Legos. It could be anything. Yeah. Yes, build something. When I was your age, I could build
idea.
pretty much anything out of a coat hanger. So I've got lots of picture frame holders out of coat hangers that I still have to this day. I have a tie rack out of coat hangers that I made. So grab a coat hanger, bend it around, and because you're right, you want that iPad weight supported on the back. While I'm talking to you guys, I'm getting several messages from people saying that they're having trouble logging in. That's why I asked. I don't see a reason to have problems, but I've told them to update to the newest version of the operating system. So, so you like that iPad Mini a lot?
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's awesome. I watched some videos of it before Christmas just normally on YouTube, and all these people were talking about how if you had been using a retina for any time you would see it and
Yeah.
be immediately disappointed because it didn't have a retina. I mean, I use it next to my iPhone 4 and I don't notice it. It hasn't been a problem at all. So, and I mean, I think it's great. I think it's awesome because I mean I don't really want a big iPad, but it is nice because I
You
can
know, speaking
type
of the
on it with
Retina,
a big keyboard and it's good.
sorry, I got something in my throat tonight. I didn't really see all that much of a big difference with the Retina. People were like, "Yeah, Retina this, Retina that," and I didn't really notice any kind of difference at all until well, then I got these glasses.
Me neither.
And when I put the glasses on and I look at the Retina display versus a different one, it's amazing. Uh, I can really tell the difference. Now, these are just simple
Uh,
reading glasses for me, but it's amazing how much clearer everything is. I never knew. Of course, my eyes have been going bad. I've mentioned that a couple of times lately on the last couple town halls. But it's just amazing how clear it is now that I can actually see better with just the reading glasses. Not that you guys need reading glasses, but I can tell a difference now that I've improved my eyesight. Um,
yeah. I mean, I actually went up to New York over Christmas break, which was a lot of fun. I went to the
yeah,
Fifth Avenue Apple store just to kind of explore it, and I mean the amount of like promotions like all around the top corner,
yeah.
there were these ads for Apple and all sorts of things. And I mean, it's just a whole different layout from South Park. There are two Genius bars. There's a whole shelf of like cleaning stuff. Like it's like a Apple
I'm not sure
Walmart.
they would take that as a
Oh,
compliment.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool.
It's big
Uh,
like that. Not
yeah, I've been to the San Francisco Apple Store, which is also 2 stories. Um, it's nice. It's still kind of small though. The
yeah,
North Lake store, I have only good things to say about the North Lake store. I think it's
yeah,
real well, really large, well laid out. It's big. I tell people now that they should go there and just avoid the South Park store when they can, just because it's so absolutely crowded, as both of you guys know.
yeah. I've I've kind of started. You may need to move on, but I've kind of started disliking that South Park store because it just seems like when I need like a question or something where something is, everyone's taken. But when I'm just like trying out the iPad Mini because I happen to be there, somewhat like four people come up like, "Is there anything I can help you with?" So it's like when I need them. When I
Yeah,
don't need
I'm
them,
not
I'm
really
being
sure how I
crowded.
feel
But when I
about
have a
the everybody
question,
having a
like
cash register
everyone's
in their hands
taken.
kind of idea, and we're going to see more retailers adopt that because Apple's the trendsetter and everybody wants to be like them. I personally, there's something to be said for I need to buy this, so I'm going to go stand in that line to because I know that those people can sell this to me. There's often times when I need to buy something and I've got to look around and everybody's talking to somebody else, and you hate to interrupt a conversation to have the sale made, but that's that's kind of weird.
Yes. And it's such a pain, like the whole easy pay thing that was trying out. And I know they say like, "Oh, we trust our customers, so we'll," like I walked out with this with something I had gotten, some adapter, I don't know, for using the easy pay thing with my mom, and they like stopped me. They were like, "You do you use easy pay?" I was like, "Yes, I used it." Clicked pay now. It emailed me the receipt. So they made me take out, or my mom's iPhone actually, because it's her email, go into her email, show the receipt, and I mean, it would have been quicker to go like to the other side of the mall, get it purchased. Like they made her show
Well,
the
yeah,
receipt,
most
her credit
most
card.
people
Like
are
it was
probably I don't know the
such a
statistics
pain
on
because
it,
they
but I
thought we
would
had like
assume
stolen it.
that most people do not use that. It's just too foreign because honestly, for a young kid like yourself, David, you're fine with it. But for people that have paid with a credit card or cash their entire lives, it's really it makes you nervous to walk in, push a button, and walk out with this thing. So the Apple Store probably doesn't see a whole lot of traffic coming in and out with the Easy Pay system. I mean, I'm as techie as everybody else, but I'm not going to use it just because I know that that's a thought.
Yes.
I, I mean, you don't want to walk out with something in your hand without a piece of paper receipt. I'm nervous enough just saying email the receipt to me and I'll walk out with this in my hand. Because what if the receipt doesn't come to you? Yeah, and you're walking through the mall and you got this thing in your hand. Just, it feels kind of weird. Hi, Daryl. How are you? Yeah, I've gotten. Oh, Joanne.
Hi,
can you
Scotty.
hear
Had
us?
trouble getting in tonight.
Me too.
Interesting. Are you on your cell?
Well, I can hear you,
Go
but
ahead.
I can't see you, and I'm on my cell phone. I don't know. Yeah, I have you on speakerphone on my cell phone based on the email information you sent me, but if I haven't upgraded to the latest version of GoToMeeting on the computer, I don't know how to do it. And I've
Yeah, let me tell you what happened. 5.3 won't
Yeah.
load on your
Yeah, I've
session,
had several
Scotty, so I
people
had to
that have
download
complained about that.
5.4.
Okay.
So if you download 5.4, you'll come in right away.
Okay, how do I do that?
You go to GoToMeeting and just download it.
Yeah, I've had several
I've done
people.
that a
This.
million times.
Go ahead, Joan.
Okay.
Now, ours happened automatically. David and I.
Yeah, I've
just
heard it
went to
both
get
ways.
in,
I've heard
and
some
it just
people not have any
automatically
problems at all. Because
upgraded.
I do. I've got a
Really?
session actually after this that I go back to work, so to speak, but I'm going to work from home. And I've had some clients that have had no problems logging in, and I've had other clients, especially, and I've actually just put a note on the front page of my website. If you have 10.5, it's almost impossible to get 5.4 GoToMeeting running. In the long, I think in the future I might move to something like the Google Plus chats, but the Google Hangouts. But right now I'm going to stick with GoToMeeting for now because it is pretty easy to use, except when we have these little weird problems. But yeah, one thing you might try to do.
There was an error while trying to download the required version for the meeting.
Okay. Also, excuse me, Scotty. Also on that website, it'll tell you to
Do
go
this too.
download GoToMeeting on that same error.
Throw
It
away
doesn't
your
tell me
old
that.
version of GoToMeeting.
On that
Delete
same-
the old
on that
version.
same error,
The next
it should
time
say,
you can do
download
this too if you're still on
GoToMeeting.
for a while. But go into your applications folder. Select. Now this is not on your iPhone. This is on your computer. Go into the applications folder. Select GoToMeeting. You'll probably see it's version 5.3. Delete it. Drag it to the trash. Either way. Make sure that it's not turned on and started. Then go to the town hall link again and click on it, and it should re-download the correct version. I think that's the best I can do. Yeah. Well, Daryl, what have you got for us this evening? You have any issues going on?
Okay, I'll try that.
Awesome. Joanne, I know it took you forever to get in here to us, but do you have something on your poor little phone as you're trying to connect to us?
Not right this second.
Well, we should be around. I see somebody else coming in here in a moment, so we
Yeah, I
should
have
be
tons
around
of
for a few
stuff,
minutes
but
if
right
you want
now
to try
I
to
would just
delete
love
that
to be
version
able
out
to
of your
connect.
applications folder, and you're welcome to leave your iPhone connected to the session too. You cannot see our video over that iPhone. You can see my desktop, but you cannot see. Oh, really? Are you on 3G right now?
No. I
Okay.
can't even see
All right,
that.
so you're at your home then?
Okay.
Not a stupid question
no,
at all.
Wi-Fi.
The easiest way to do it would be to click on the Finder.
Yeah, I have
Some
a
people
real
call this
stupid question. How do
Picasso.
I get to my
I call it the
applications
happy
folder?
face. If you open up that window, you will see a new window that pops in, and that new window that pops up, you'll see on the left-hand side your applications folder. So go to that applications folder, then you'll find that GoToMeeting file there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jay, you also had problems, didn't you, getting into the meeting tonight?
Oh, I messed up. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Oh, I've had all. Oh, the meeting. Yes, I had problems with the meeting. Yeah, I had to go to a third computer to do so. This is our little new Mac Mini let me see. What is this? Is a 10.8.2.
I wonder if you were using
that I told you about it,
10.5 on one of those older operating systems, Jay.
I had to go to finally to get into.
Do you have any
meeting,
idea
Scotty.
if that was not up to date at all? That 10, was it a 10.5 machine that you failed to get into the GoToMeeting with? This is just out of curiosity for me.
I thought it was 10.6, Scotty. I've gotten into it on the past, and I was using the correct
I don't think 10. Yeah, this just reassures what I was saying
of-
before. 10.5.8 is not happening with GoToMeeting
10.5.8.
You were going to say something, Joanne? Yes, we're talking about the GoToMeeting 5.3, which is in your applications folder. Throw that away, and
I
then
have 5.3.
I sent you
So
the
do I
email
drag
link. You
those
should
to
be able
the
to click
trash?
that email link on your computer, and it'll take you to download. While we
Okay.
So hopefully now it'll work on your computer. So let's see if it does. We'll check back with you in a
That's
second.
what I did, and that's
Imade,
how I
you've
got
popped
you
in.
on
How
my
are you doing,
iPhone
Imade?
somehow.
Very good. I have a question for you. We're all just sitting around discussing this.
Okay.
Did you have any big time
Okay.
problems updating your GoToMeeting
Hey,
software to
good.
get
How
into
are
our meeting
you?
this evening?
Okay. Well, I was so screwed up, it took me 2 days to get back on my computer. I don't know what I've done. I just made a big mess, but I'm on, so
I've
I got it
passed your
downloaded
house,
again.
Imade,
I
about
didn't have
4 times
everything
in the last
synced.
3 or 4 days.
So
But I'm not the
I've
kind
got
of
to get you over here,
Well,
but I
no,
just
I
haven't
mean, you know how to schedule
had
and everything,
time
but I do
yet.
think about you
So,
and drive by a couple times. I'll honk next time. Of course, it might be
oh,
1 or 2 in the morning. I'll come by
that
Imade's house.
breaks my heart.
Or I might get shot or something. All right. Well, Imade,
Please
do you have
do.
something that we can help you with? And Jay, I'm going to get back to you in a second.
That's all right. I'll come running out and beg you to come in. I doubt it.
The
Everything. I'm just going to listen. I don't know what I've done or what's going on. This new version's got me really wondering what's going on. I didn't go up to Mountain Line yet
Okay.
because I've just
I'll
barely
I'll address
gotten
a big difference,
straightened
or
out and
the
synced
one
with
thing that I really
Lion,
do like
but
about Mountain Lion in a second, but I want to make sure everybody has a
I
chance if they
will.
have
I'm
a
just going to
question. Jay,
listen.
we kind of jumped over you a little bit. Do you have a question or something this evening that we can try to help with?
Well, I had several questions. One is an update for the group here. And what I'm going to do and to stay married to my beloved spouse here, for those of you who don't know, you probably all know, she is big in the Humane Society here in North Carolina, and they're having some really awful things going on. I'm trying to support her ability to talk on the phone, so I'm moving to another room. Yeah, I'm just having all kinds of growing pains right now, going back and forth. You know, those of us who still use some of the older machines.
Now, you were using
being
10.5 because you had a specific
kicking
piece
and
of
screaming
software. I believe
into
that did we determine that
2013.
specific piece
There's
of
just no
software was
way
not going to
around it,
work
Scotty. You know.
on the newer versions of the operating system?
Well, there were lots of cheats I was using. I was using the, you know, drag control 4 a lot, you know, to do lots of screenshots of things I was showing my clients on guitars. And, you know, the screenshots on snow leopard and the various leopards and lion don't work as well. You know, they work very differently.
Right,
They
the
don't
timestamps on that.
appear just as picture one dot, you know, portable network graphic. They appear as this lengthy description right, and they don't appear where you shot them. They appear somewhere else, and you kind of have to find them and manipulate them. And so, that's something, that's a cheat I was using that has kind of gone away. One thing that's happening right now on some of my older machines, Scotty, is that when I'm taking pictures,
Okay.
older iPhoto
let me
can't
back.
find them.
All right, all right,
And I was going to
we'll
show
come back
you
to it. I'll
that
give everybody
on-
another round
on
here in
the
a second,
machine
but
that I
let
was
me
trying to
ask the
use on
question a
this
little bit
version
more
of GoToMeeting.
clearly. You have,
And
you said
I'm gonna
older
try to
version of
bring that over
iPhoto
and show you
cannot find certain
later in our
pictures.
meeting.
Is that the statement?
Yeah, but it's peculiar. I'm not sure if it's related to, flaws that I have in some of my, damage,
Okay.
for example, to a mechanical hardware, one of the pieces that I plug in and out of my camera, or if it's a software related problem. I don't want to spend a lot of time on
Okay.
that. My question that I have for you today is rather old and kind of remote, and it may help some of the other folks here today. It's back to the issue of changing users. What do we think, folks? Will that help some of you others? I don't want to
Yeah,
monopolize our time
I think
on
we
an
can
old
address it real
issue.
quickly. Now, let me back up and
Does
kind of
anybody
understand.
else have
Are you
problems
talking
with
about, Jay,
knowing how to
migrating a user
change
from one computer
users
to
with
another, or are
machines
you
and
talking
the
about the
issue of
act of
manipulating
actually
users? Is
switching
that where
users
spending some
on one
time on
computer?
tonight?
Okay.
Well, both. I mean, how do we effectively use the issue of users? Both. I don't know how many of us. Hi, Joan. For example, Joan, do you have exclusive use of your computers? Are you the only user on your machines?
I am the administrator of everything because my husband loves them, but he's not geeky.
Okay, I understand. For example, my wife needs to take over. She's not a user. She's not geeky either. And she
Yeah.
needs to take, she had a problem. Quicken is a great example. Quicken, the newer versions of Quicken just will not run on these older machines she's comfortable with. And Quicken is starting to blow up. And Quicken's a piece of software everybody just about needs to be able to have and use. Okay?
Okay.
And so I'm needing to
All right. Well, let's talk
migrate
about that. I'll throw
her
some
into
things out.
some
I
of
hope that
my
I'll answer
nicer
what you're
leopard,
looking
snow
for, but I'll
leopard,
give
whatever it
a
is,
few pieces of
machines.
information out that I can think
And
of.
so I need to be able to change my user to her.
Well, I'll
And
run
you
on this, and then
Quicken.
we'll make another round here for a second. What Jay's talking about is basically when you have one computer, but more people using that computer than just one
But
person.
I don't want to monopolize our time,
On my
Scott.
computer, for
You know what I'm
instance, this
saying?
computer that
It's a
I'm using
town
right
hall.
now, I have one user called admin. But I have another user, and I think this is a wonderful thing for everybody to have, and that is a test user. So I might have a user for myself. Maybe I have a user for my child if we only had one computer in the house. And then I always want to have a second user, just a test user. Now that test user only exists if I'm having problems. I go into that test user and I work on things, and whether or not that problem exists in the test user tells me a whole lot about where the problem is. Now, the problem that always happens with people is when you move from one computer to another, you might have a user on your old computer named Scotty. Then you buy a new computer. And before you do the transfer of information, this happens all the time, probably 3 times a week I deal with this. People open up their computer. They're so anxious just to start using that computer that they create a new user on the new computer and they call it Scotty, the same user, the same name. So they go through and they start checking their email and they maybe make 1 or 2 documents and they add some pictures in. And then I show up. about 3 or 4 days later, and they say, I want to move all my data over. Well, they've already created a user on their new machine with the exact same name as the other user. And this goes a little bit to what I think you were asking here a second ago, Jay. You cannot move a user from one machine over to the user of another machine that has the same name. If you do, what's called Migration Assistant. Migration Assistant, which is a piece of software that Apple puts on your computer that helps you to move these things around. Migration Assistant will say, wait a minute, there's already a user named this. And so it would say, we will add your information. We'll put a 1 next to your name, so there'll be Scotty and Scotty1. But then that just becomes massively confusing. So what you can do if that was to happen, the short way around that is to go over to your system settings, your system preferences, create a new user, like a test user, or just a temporary user. Create one right there in the users and groups. Log into that. Delete the user that you created temporarily, like the new user that you created when you pulled the machine out. Then migrate over the other information from the other user. Now, if you say, well, what about the other information what about the information that I added just recently because I've had this user for a couple of days? That's when the shared folder comes in. So if you look at your Finder folder and you go up to the word Go and you go to Computer, you go to your hard drive, and then you'll see your Users folder. Inside your Users folder is a shared folder, and everybody has this. That shared folder is a common area for everyone in all the users on the computer. And so you can move anything into this folder, and it is available for all the other users. So here's a file that I need for my other users to be able to have access to. So I drop it into the shared folder. Now, when I log in to the other user, I can go to the shared folder, and there it is. Now, not to get too detailed with it, that does equal permission problems from time to time. And I'm just going to go through this one thing really quick because I know we're recording this. If I log into the other user and I want to access this file that's in the shared folder, this file has a set of permissions associated to it. If I go get info about this file, you can see down here there's permissions. And me, the admin, I have read and write permissions to this. But when I log into the other user and I go double click this thing and I try to open it, the file might not open. I say might not. It might not open because the other user doesn't have permission. So here's a quick fix. If you click the unlock button, and I know I don't expect you to remember this, but like I said, we're recording it. You click the unlock button on the bottom corner. You can add other administrators to have permission to work on this file. So you hit the plus sign, and I'm going to add Mr. Test on my user. He's now a part of it, and I'm going to say Mr. Test also has the ability to read and write. And lastly, if that was a folder, I could say, please apply that to all enclosed items. And then all the users would be able to go into that shared folder and be able to move those into their own areas. That's a long-winded answer for possibly a pretty short question, but I touched on moving information from one computer to another with Migration Assistant. We talked about creating a new user on your machine. It's always a great advantage to have a test user. The reason you want to have a test user is, let's say, if I open up Safari and Safari's crashing, and I open up Safari and Safari keeps crashing, and every time I open Safari it's crashing, well, is that the computer or is it your user? So if you log into the test user and you open up Safari and it crashes, you know there's something wrong with the program Safari. But if you open up Safari and it works, you know that the problem is your user. And that's when you go into your house and you know that the problem is inside your house and not the others. So I'm going to move on to some other people here. Jay, refine your question if I didn't answer it very well at all, and we'll come back. Yes, Emma Day, take it. Yeah. No.
Can I ask a question?
That's right. Yeah, the time
About
capsule is a hard drive
I just
on
wanted
your
to ask
network.
you,
Is really what it
the
is,
shared
Emma Day.
folder,
And if you
like,
look at my
I
Finder
have
window
two
that
time
I've got open,
capsules.
over on the
So
left-hand
I
side,
thought
I have
the
these
shared
other hard
folder
drives that are
was for
connected,
both
a lot
time
like your time capsule. But
If
those
you-
have nothing to do with my
that has
users
nothing
folder,
to do
and
with the
inside my
time
users folder, the shared folder. That's a folder that lives locally. But yeah, does anybody else have any questions? I may have been more confusing than helpful on that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
5.4 GoToMeeting.
Okay.
GoToMeeting version 5.4.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would delete it. And
I just
I don't
one
even
quick
think you can
question.
join this meeting
What
tonight, Joan, with
version of
5.3. So
Town
I would be
Hall
willing to
should
bet that
we
you
be
have
on? I just
5.4.
wanted to check that I'm right.
Okay.
So I
Well,
should
I'll just open it
delete
up because we've gone
if I
around
have
the table with
5.3.
everybody. Anybody want to jump in with a question? Do you, well, I'm going to jump over to your computer in just a second, Joan, and we're going to take a look
Okay,
at
I
it.
was
I heard
just
somebody else
checking
jump
while you
in.
were talking.
Uh,
I'm going to check one
Emma
more
Day, was that
time real
a question that you
quickly.
might have had?
Okay, it still says I have
Okay.
5.3, Scotty.
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
get you
Well,
over here to
I'll,
figure out
no
how to
pun
make
intended, I'll address that in a
the
moment. We're going to look
mailing
at
list
Joan's
because I
GoToMeeting
still
issue.
haven't figured it
And
out.
after we're done with
I've
that, I'll
got
talk
it
about
in
making those group
numbers,
lists again in just a
and
second.
there's a lot of stuff,
Okay,
so it's
so
not
Joan,
like
you have
3
version
lines I can put
5.3,
on
but look in your doc
a
down there.
sticker,
You see in your doc,
and
Joan,
I
you have
just
2
haven't
icons
figured
of the
it
yellow
out.
flower
So
GoToMeeting. There you go. Yeah, so let's take that, pull it, and drag it
okay,
out. And by the way, here's a little hint for people that are in Mountain Lion 10.8.
okay,
When you drag an item from your dock, like she's trying to do right now, she's running, I think you're running 10.7, Joan. Am I right that you have not moved up to Mountain Lion?
Yes. Okay, so just get rid of this one.
Okay. Well, when you drag the icon in Mountain Lion, when you drag the icon out of the dock to get rid of it, you have to cover over 50% of the screen in distance before it allows you to poof it out. Yeah.
Oh no, I've been on
Yes,
Mountain
but now we
Lion
need to get rid
since
of the
before you told
5.3
me it
in
was
your applications
okay.
folder. So here we're looking at Joan's computer, and we see your applications folder is open. Now, if you scroll down about, there you go. If you just Command Delete, that'll move that into the trash.
Okay, but it poofed and now it says
Let's
5.4.
let's
Is that
see.
okay?
Did you
Okay.
click, now that you deleted it, did you go to my email that I sent you, Joanne, on your computer and click to join the meeting? Go to my email that I sent to you. Click on that link that joins the
Scotty,
meeting,
which
and it
I
should
have done.
force
How do I
GoToMeeting
download
5.4
5.4?
to download. All right, so Joanne, sorry, Joe. Yeah, let's. Can you move that applications window, or let's just close the applications window for a second. We need to find where 5.4
Right.
GoToMeeting is living right now. You may have been running that through the downloads folder. So let's open the Finder window back again by hitting the Picasso face.
But now
there.
I don't see it in my
And go to
Finder,
your house or your users folder,
the new one.
and in your users folder, which is your house, the one that says Joan, it's right below the applications folder in the left-hand side. Now select Downloads. It's up a little bit. There we go. And let's open that folder. There we go. And you've got all these, the blue Citrix installer, that's all the times that it installed. But G, it should be shown in the G's. Will you do me one favor, Joan? Will you go to the third view, which is the column view? Yes. All right. Yep, and now we're looking. Now scroll down, and let's scroll down within that one and see if we find the GoToMeeting software in that. We're looking for the G's. It's not alphabetical at the moment. You got a lot of pictures from that you've downloaded off the internet. It's very possible that it's there and we just skipped over it. Go ahead, Emma Day. Yeah, the best thing to do is go to my website and click on the the town hall link on the
What
website.
I've done every time I've lost
That
you
should
and it's been
force any
updated or
update to
something, I've
take
just
place.
gone to your address folder
Joan, I
where
don't know that we
sales
saw that in the
consulting
downloads
is
folder. It's
and
obviously
clicked on
somewhere
that,
because you're running it right
and
now.
town hall comes up, and I've just clicked
Yeah,
on that.
so you're
for
definitely
me.
running it because you're using it. I just
And
don't know where that application is living at the moment. Now, you could go up under the word view, I believe, in the menu bar and sort by name. Yeah, I think view should give us the ability to sort by, arrange by name. Now you're going to go
Yeah,
back
and
into
I
that
got
window
right
and
in.
look under the G's. You have to scroll through the numbers and things. And while you're doing that, Joan, I'm going to jump over and we're going to take a look at addresses, creating an address subgroup. So let me create myself back in here. And Imade was asking about how to make a group of addresses. Is that right, Imade? Is that what you were asking me?
Sure.
yes, or to make a 3-line address, like someone helped me download my addresses, but in
All right.
what
Let me
was
ask
it
you this,
on
Imade. A long time ago,
documents?
and I
It
may
had,
know
you
this,
know, a
I may
long
have helped you with
lineup
this.
of,
In the
you
past, did
know,
you ever move some
cousins,
addresses from like an
aunts,
Excel spreadsheet
you know,
or a
stuff like
spreadsheet
that all the way
application?
across a long folder. And now I'm trying
Okay.
to just get the name, the address, and the city in 3 lines
All right.
from that.
This is one of the big pains with computers. This is one of the times that we are smarter than computers are, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that in just a second.
Yeah.
Let me try to pull up my own
I've
so I
got an
can
Excel spreadsheet,
mess
and
around with this.
now I've got
Let's see.
pages,
Drop
but
this
they're
in
not
here.
combined, and they're not, you know,
Okay.
they're not together. One's
So
archived,
when you're
and
talking
I don't know
about
how
an
to do
Excel
it. So.
spreadsheet of contacts, and I deal with this a lot, where people have a spreadsheet and you have a list of columns, rows and rows and rows, and columns and columns. On an Excel spreadsheet, a lot of people will make a contact list in Excel. The first row will be the name, or I should say column, because there is a difference. Columns go vertically, rows go horizontally. So in the first column would be the name, Scotty. The second column would be the last name, in my case, Sales. The next column should be the address, my physical address, 9718 Worley Drive. Then the next column should be the city, Charlotte. The next column should be the state. The next column should be the zip code. The next column should be the phone number, and then the email address. And what I'm saying is, if you create the Excel spreadsheet the exact proper way, then when you import it into your contacts group, everything falls into place. But nobody creates their Excel spreadsheet the right way. The first column might be the name, the second column might be the second name, the third column might be the phone number. Well, that doesn't really make sense to the address book. Or the first column might be your first and last name. In your spreadsheet, that is. Or maybe the address might not be your street name, 1234 Happy Lane. It might be 1234 Happy Lane, Charlotte, North Carolina, zip code 28215. And then when you try to import that in, and this is all important because it goes to what we're about to look at in address book. When you import all of that into address book does the best job that it can to lay it down into the right categories, but it doesn't always do a very good job because it takes that one line and it puts it in as one line in the address book. So I have a feeling what you might have to do with some of this is go in and massage these. And whenever I talk about addresses, I have to be real sensitive to people's information. So I'm trying to find a piece of information or an address that I can expose without people getting too upset with me and me having to edit things. All right. So for instance, here's one that I created for myself, blank. When I hit the edit button, I need to make sure that I have these tabs filled into the right things. So I'm going to say this guy's last name is Test. I don't want to say that his name is Scotty Test in this, because then it's going to come out, and this happens to a lot of people, it's going to come out that his first name is Scotty Test, whose last name is Test. So in the address book, it's going to say Scotty Test Test. And that happens to a lot of people that I deal with. Are you following me so far, Emma Day? No problem. So what I'm saying is you may need to go in and massage this information. You were asking me, how can I get this to be in 3 lines when I print something out? I think is kind of where you're going with this. And let's look at the address right now. Here's my home address. If your home address is 1234 Happy Lane, and then I put the city here as well, I'm messing up. And then I put the state, and I put the zip code. That is wrong.
Yes, I'm sorry, my phone.
And that may be the way that yours is. If that's the case, then you need to come in, delete everything except 1234 Happy Lane, and then in the city, put Charlotte, and then in the state, put North Carolina, and then in the zip code, put your zip code.
Okay.
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 All right. Well,
Okay.
I appreciate that. I will revisit it real quick. You shouldn't do anything else with Excel, because I believe that probably you and I a long time ago imported the contacts from Excel into your
All right,
address
I've done
book.
that with my addresses.
That's
in
done. There is
this
no
computer,
reason to go back
but
to that
phone
Excel file, in
distracted
my
me, so I
opinion,
missed
and
what you
massage that
said
and fix that.
on the from
Okay.
the other one. My mind
Okay.
just went
Then
blank,
if that's the
and I
case,
can't remember
you
what
need to
you
have
said
those
to do with
columns lined
Excel,
up the right
so
way.
I'll go
I mean,
back and
you need
listen
to make sure that
this.
one column has a name, one column has a last name, one column has a phone number, one column has a city, and not one column has groups and lots of information. And it really doesn't necessarily matter the order of those rows,
Okay.
because when you import this stuff into address book, it will. There is a way
Well, there are a
that
bunch
even if the
of
first
them
row
that
is the
aren't
phone
in
number,
here.
you can tell
They're
address
not in
book,
here.
make the first row the phone number. Don't make the first row the first name. But yeah, going from an Excel spreadsheet of contacts to your actual address book is a terrible nightmare for a lot of people. All right, I'm going to stop and be quiet.
Okay.
No problem. No problem. All right, let's open it back up. Whoever jumps in. Yeah. Okay. That is very possible. That's in your Safari browser. So you'll watch my browser here.
It is, yeah. Well, I'll go back and listen. I'm sorry.
my
that
goodness.
phone
All right, well, we're
distracted
gonna
me
walk
right
through
in the
it
middle of it, so
right now.
I'll listen.
So with your Safari browser, you're going to go up to the word
Joanne
Safari
here.
in the menu bar, and you're going to select
I've been trying
Preferences.
to download it through the link you sent me, and I can't.
Once you get to
and at
Preferences,
some point, something popped up real
You're
quick.
going to go
that
to,
said
let me make
have
sure that
to
I say this
enable
right before I
cookies.
say it. Gosh, where is the cookies, guys?
How do I do that?
I'm trying to see, is that privacy?
I can't because I'm
Is
on
it-
my cell phone.
Where are cookies now managed? Anybody that finds it before me, I'm trying to please jump in and yell out. Did you see it?
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let's see.
I have blocked
Let me
cookies,
jump over
and
here.
it's checked for third
Sometimes I
parties
have to
and
protect my own
advertisers.
privacy. Very fast. But that's only managing. That's not giving the ability to accept or not accept. So your cookies, yeah, down here, obviously, I'm an idiot. Block cookies from third parties. And Joanne,
luck.
you
I
said
tried
you
to
have
do
that
that.
from third parties and advertisers blocked?
No.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
said cookies.
It's right there.
Cookies and other website data.
That shouldn't
Is
be
that
a
it?
problem. That's what it is by default. So that should
Yep.
not be what the issue is. So you could turn it to never if you're having problems downloading. I think there's
David,
something
you
else going
never
on in your
cease
machine.
to amaze me.
No. I know that you're fairly up to date. I know that you use iCloud on your devices, Joanne. So you're definitely on at least 10.7. So that's not the issue. I was thinking maybe you
Not at
had an
all.
older version of the operating system, but you don't. But here's the other thing. I
Yeah,
don't know if you still
that's
have
the
it, but
check.
you do have an iMac and a laptop, right? So are you failing to?
Hmm.
Well, you could try on the iMac, and that would get you maybe a little bit better connection here too. But we do only have about 15 minutes left. Make sure that you well, let's take a look at GoToMeeting real quick. GoToMeeting.com, and this is valuable enough information that we do spend some time on it because everybody has had a problem.
No.
It's not just you, Joanne. A lot of people have had one. Now, what GoToMeeting what GoToMeeting is trying to do here is get you to pay for their service, and of course, none of you guys need to do that. That's what I do. So you go to, if you select join a meeting, I did this with Jay as well. If you select join a meeting, you can put in the meeting ID, and that's actually what I sent you in that email. You could cut and paste the meeting ID right into the GoToMeeting website and continue. That should install, or that should be another way of trying to get it to install.
Yeah, because I
GoToMeeting.com, and when you go to GoToMeeting.com, it can say join a meeting at the very top. You select that join a meeting, and then you would put the number in. The number for this. You've tried to put the number. No, you should just have the one number. And by the way, this number never changes. Let me see if I can post this number up. And then you guys can have it. I'll put it up, and this will be
which
the
site are you
recording
looking
as
at
well.
to do that?
So if you ever just want to manually type it in,
Yeah.
I normally do not change this number at all. I might change it maybe once a year, but that is the unique GoToMeeting number for our meeting here.
I tried
If anybody
that
ever wants
earlier.
that, and you could
I
type
think
that
they want
in
two numbers, don't
right
they?
in the GoToMeeting website.
Okay.
But again, it should, and I'll try to remember that number. Yeah, but well, the whole point of the website with Town Hall is to be able to click that button right there, and it just automatically happens for you. In other words, the link behind that button is that number. So if I ever change that number, I have to change this link. Yeah, take it, David. Go.
That's great, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could make that your screen. Yeah, make that your screen during the.
But can you share screens on
meeting.
Google the Google Hangouts? I don't know that you can actually share screens. Yeah, I think it's more of, hey, let's look at each other on a camera. But obviously, you see, I have to use screen sharing a lot with people. So,
well, one thing
we'll
is
be
I
seeing
was
this.
looking into it during the meeting, the whole Google Hangouts thing, and it looks like they have like a great iOS app.
I'll say the number.
And
You
it
ready?
looks like it works. So I mean, I think like if you could
841
find a time to do, I know you have the sponsorship, but that looks like a good
997
option to host the meeting.
159.
Ooh, I didn't even look at that. I
Now, you
didn't
realize
even
this,
think of
Joanne,
that.
that
I
if you
thought
do
that
make
was
it
a
into the meeting this evening
definite.
under
I
something
didn't
other than your
realize that
iPhone, you're going to have to turn your camera on, and we'll have to see you. It is the price that you will have to pay.
Okay, Scotty, I hate to interrupt, but for the first time, I've got a place where I can put meeting ID, and I don't want to go back to your email because I don't want to lose the screen. So can you tell me real quick? Yep.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness. That is, I don't know what we're going to do with you, Joanne. Well, we're going to cut our losses on it at the moment. Does anybody else have anything before we wrap up this evening? Take it. It's all
well,
it's all open
it's
right
not gonna
now. Oh, by the
happen
way,
because
that reminds
it took
me
the
of a
same
little tirade I'm
screen
going to
that
go
I
off
always
here in a
had,
second.
which says
If you want to send a
restart
private message
download,
to someone in the
and keep this
future,
little
let's see,
symbol up
Joan, I'm going to
corner.
try to send you one.
And nothing happens.
Oh dear.
Right, you want to be able to send a
I don't know.
yeah. Let's see, send chat message. If anybody sees it before me, please jump in and let me know.
No, I just have a funny question for Daryl. He sent me a private message, and when I answered him, I think it
Right,
went
but I'm
public,
saying you could send a,
which
like
isn't a
right
big
now,
deal.
David, you could send a private message to Emma Day if you wanted to. So if anybody sees where that works before me, please jump in. Yeah. There you
Daryl
go.
sent a private one to me, but when I answered, everyone can see it, which is fine, but it's
Yes.
not that
Yeah. I don't
private.
know that you can do it
I
private
don't know how to
one-to-one.
do it.
You
I
could
don't
send
know
a
how
private
to do
message
it.
to me as I am the host, but I don't know that you could send one to each other.
We can't
Yeah, I
see
see
your
this.
Scotty, remember, we can't see your menu.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we didn't see Daryl's question. We only saw your answer, which is fine.
Yes. Yes.
Right down at the bottom, it
Yes.
says 2.
Oh, I see it.
No,
All entire
I have to always
audience.
be very careful.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I was going to say
Okay.
is
Because we all connected
nothing
now, is that
that
why?
you do, and David, this goes to you more than anybody, nothing that you do on the internet is private. Nothing. Snapchat, and this goes to you, David, as well. You know, all your friends use Snapchat.
No,
Snapchat
it says
is
here,
not
that's how
private.
Daryl
It is
did it,
not.
right?
If it goes on
If
a hard
I
drive or a
just had hit
server,
Daryl back,
it doesn't matter what
only
anybody in the world
Daryl would have
says.
gotten my answer.
They will
But
find it. Just ask General Petraeus, or
Right.
anybody.
It's okay.
Well, and I hope
Nothing to hide.
Yes, that's if I send you an email.
Well,
I worked with a client earlier today who was extremely worried about their privacy, extremely concerned about their privacy, and they wanted to ensure they wanted to make sure that they were deleting all their emails and things. And so I went
Yes.
through a long discussion with them about how to make sure their emails are deleted and they go to the
Right.
trash and everything. And then I summed it up at the very end with, it doesn't really matter that you deleted these emails. First of all, you have 15 backups in Time Machine, of the same copy. You've got lots of hidden places that these files are stored. Not to mention Google's servers in California have a copy of the data, and that data is backed up onto another server, so they have multiple copies of the same one. Nothing we do on the internet is private. And if you think of it like that, text messages, nothing. If you think of it like that, then you'll be okay. But never, ever, ever send somebody a text message that you feel you would regret if other people knew about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are the cattle. That's exactly right.
right.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Nothing. That's my
Right.
point, Emma Day. Nothing is private. And, right, we can live in the world thinking that things are private, but nothing in the long. And let me point it out to you like this, Emma Day. If you run
and remember,
for president,
folks, Facebook,
and
we are the product.
let's say you're with I don't know. I'll just pick one. The Republicans. It doesn't matter. I don't care
That's right.
what
I don't know.
denomination.
my dad
But let's say, Emma Day, you run
guy
for the
that,
Republican Party president, and
actually
you get the
didn't
nomination.
Get into a college because
You
they found
better
something on his
believe
Facebook
that
from
the
high
other
school,
side,
like sophomore
they
in
are
high
going
school,
to go
of
through
your
your
life with
cyber
alcohol or
history
something, and
with
he
a
actually
fine-tooth
didn't
comb,
get
and they're
into
going to
the
find
school
anything
because
they
found
can
so
to
much
discredit
stuff on
you.
his social
Used
network.
to, you
I
would
thought
the
that was
Democratic
private.
represent or the nominee of one side,
No,
they would pull their
nothing's
credit.
private.
Hey, let's look and see what their mortgage is, were they late on any payments, so we can use that in our advertising. Nowadays, they not only pull your credit, they're looking at your Facebook history. They can find if you participated in an AOL chat session in 1997. All that stuff is recorded. So, I hate to sound scary and spooky, but that's the way you should think of it. Do not think. Yeah, Joanne knows a little bit about this. I'm pretty sure. She's
They're gonna find
had some
something.
experience with that sort of thing, but in a good way. I won't reveal. Yeah, no, she knows a lot about this kind of stuff because I know part of her occupation. So just don't ever put anything on the internet that you consider private. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't have a private conversation. It's fine to have a private conversation with your husband over email, tell him you love him and that kind of thing, but don't tell him what you're going to do to him the next time you catch him with such and such person, and you know how you're going to do this, because then that's a threat. He's got a copy of it, and in the divorce settlement, he's going to use it, and you're going to lose everything.
It's true.
I've seen it 20 times, probably. Yeah. So, anyway, that's it. Go ahead.
He adds quickly. Oh, in a good way. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Okay, I'm going to make sure I get the question right. You
Yep.
Yes. It takes.
well, it's a good
Yeah,
thing
but
I don't
other
know
than
how
that,
to.
everything's fine, right?
Yeah, that's
I
right,
do-
because your
Whatever, I
your mail
want to ask
application
one
is one
thing.
program.
I don't
Safari
know
is another program. So you have
why
two
in the,
applications open
when
now.
I'm
And let me
looking on
open my
Safari
mail and see
now, or
if I
when
can
I'm in
find
a
it
mail,
and move
and
down
say
to some
someone sends me a
hopefully
YouTube
public
something,
emails here.
and I click on it, and it jumps to
So
another
here I have my
screen,
email program
and
open,
I don't
and
know
I
how to
have,
get
and I've got
back
the world's
except
worst
with quitting Safari.
YouTube video here. I've got two programs open here, Emma Day.
makes
I've got
sense.
my email program, and I've got
I mean, if
Safari,
I
which happens
hit-
to be at
If someone
youtube.com
sends
right
me
now.
a message,
When I
and they've
clicked
got a link
in
to
my
YouTube
mail
or
application,
something, and I
it
click
takes
on
me
YouTube,
to Safari.
and
So once it took me to Safari and
downloads
I'm
the
finished
message.
watching that,
But
the only
then
way that I can
it's
get back to my
through,
mail
I've gotta
program
go
is to
back and
switch the
quit
application from
to go
Safari
back
to mail.
Why
Now, there's
is
a lot of
that?
different ways to do that. If
I don't
it's,
know what
you
I'm
see how I have
on.
them sort of side by side with each other there? I've got Safari overlapping mail. I can move my mouse over, click on mail, and it becomes the front application again. Or I could use that super handy key command. I could use that key command by going Command Tab, and when I do that, that shows me the list of all the applications that I have open. Remember, I talk about that a lot. Command Tab, and it brings those up. Now, I can tab over to the application that I want to become to come to the front. Maybe I want my address book to come to the front. If I let go, now my address book is in the front, which is actually over here on a whole another screen. Or I want Safari to come to the front. Now Safari's in the front. Tab over. I want my email to come to the front. The email's in the front. Or I could just close that window, and when I close that window, it goes back to the window that I had open behind it.
Yeah.
All right. So the whole point there is that when you
Yeah.
click on a link in that email, it opens up Safari, which is a completely different program. All right. All right, guys, we're going to shut it down for this evening. Joanne, I hope that you can get that solved so that we actually have a better connection for you in the future.
Okay. Mhm. Okay.
Well, we haven't tried everything. We haven't tried the solution yet, and we just don't know what that is yet. I'll think about it. If anybody comes up with an idea or something, please let me know, and I'll forward it over to her. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. All right. Everybody have a good night. Bye.
Let's see.